Oh, Michael, прелестно, прелестно. Good morning, my dear friend. Welcome, welcome to my Leningrad.
Добрый день, доброе утро. Спасибо.
I'm glad
Знаю вас.
Yes.
I think I recognize you.
Прекрасно.
Just let me take your temperature. You are alive. Well, this is extraordinary. Thank you for welcoming me to your city.
Alexander Gudkov is a Lenin impersonator. Not everyone appreciates this.
Как работаем, так и живем. Как работаем, голубушка, так и живем.
But the younger Leningraders don't seem to bat an eyelid. Imitating communism's patron saint would recently have been a treasonable offence. To add insult to injury, 52% of the city has just voted to change the name back to St. Petersburg.
Please.
You're trusted to stamp your own ticket, and I'm glad to say technology hasn't taken over from brute force.
Oh, good.
Okay, we're in business.
Tickets are 10 kopecks each. That's practically a free ride.
Is this all over Leningrad?
Yes.
Everywhere?
Yes, yes. Always. Везде, всюду.
A tram rover.
There is money in Leningrad, much of it relieved from tourists in a variety of ingenious ways, of which this must be one of the most agreeable. Musicians, often from the top orchestras, augment their incomes by playing guests into their hotels. I get on well with Alexander, or Sasha, as he now insists I call him. We agree to meet again. I'm sure he thinks I'm a Michael Palin impersonator. They're there again next morning, but I'm so preoccupied with finding my way around Leningrad that they don't get much change out of me. Not even a kopeck. Sasha has agreed to give me the Lenin City tour. We meet outside the Finland station, where he returned from exile to organize the revolution.
And 30 April 1917.
April 1917, when you came back.
Yes. Здесь много было, many peoples.
They're all gathered?
Yes. Все было. И он сказал здесь, революция, о необходимости которой большевики говорили постоянно, свершилась. Ура, товарищи! Вот здесь он сказал. С этого, да.
That was it?
Весь народ хлопал. Все были.
I recognize the Bolshevik word.
Yeah.
You had a big coat on.
Yes.
It was very cold.
Among the great man's most enthusiastic supporters were the sailors on board the cruiser Aurora. The Aurora survives almost exactly where she was in October 1917, when a single shot was fired from this cannon. It may well have been a mistake, but it was just what the Bolsheviks had been waiting for. Cut to the Winter Palace.
So they heard the gun from the Aurora, the sailors and the army.
Yes.
They come across the square, and these are the gates they storm. Yeah.
Быстро забрались наверх.
Short of giving them all door keys, they couldn't have made it much easier. The gates are a fine example of a Baroque climbing frame.
A great moment for you. One of many. What a year for you.
Yeah.
What a year. They look easy gates to climb. You know, there are lots
Быстро,
of
быстро,
foothills.
quickly,
Yeah.
да.
Now over here, I see there's a branch of John Lewis. What's that doing there?
I leave Lenin to savour his triumphs and head further back into history, to 1703, when Peter the Great ordered a swamp to be turned into this grand European city. Composers and writers used these canals for inspiration. Disgruntled aristocrats used them for drowning Rasputin. Uh-oh, these people have obviously been tipped off that there's a Michael Palin impersonator in town. We pass on under Nevsky Prospect, the street that has always been the heart of this city's life. I'm heading for a monument to a Russian hero even greater than Lenin and Peter the already great. Alexander Nevsky defeated the Swedes in an epic battle in the year 1240. Peter ordered this monastery to be built in his name. Religion in Russia is no longer an undercover activity. Churches are reopening and attendance is booming. This may look like an obscure Russian party game, but it is in fact one of the increasingly popular christening ceremonies. They're not just for babies, but people of all ages. I wasn't aware of all this when, not wanting to be disrespectful, I simply did what everyone else was doing. Michael Palin impersonator.
Во имя Отца и Сына и Святого Духа, во исцеление.
Это тогда ему надо просто в сторонку отойти.
Not wanting to stand out, I achieve precisely the opposite effect. The service grinds to a halt around me. The priest is very sympathetic, but it's only by a whisker that I avoid being inducted into the Russian Orthodox Church.
No, it's all right. No, I understand. Tell him I understand and respect what he said.
Okay.
Yes, I will listen.
My reprieve comes not a moment too soon. The ceremony moves up a gear as the priest dons another outfit, and I'm left only able to speculate what my fate might have been in his hands.
Раба Божия Виктория, во имя Отца, аминь, и Сына, аминь, и Святого Духа, аминь. Риза, младенец, крестик мне. Крещается раб Божий Евгений, во имя Отца, аминь, и Сына, аминь, и Святого Духа, аминь.
Exhausted by my near-christening experience, I take refuge in the Tikhvin cemetery, where lie the great names of Russian culture. If you're immortal, you'll have been buried here.
Fyodor Dostoevsky. Fyodor. How did you cope with it, Fyodor? All the book signings and press launches. What did you write? Sincerely yours, sorry about the sad bits. Sorry it's a bit gloomy, yours, Fyodor. Pole to Pole, good title? No, I thought as much. Death at the Poles? Having a miserable time at the pole?
He wasn't much help. I went to see Rimsky-Korsakov. There can be few places where such an outstanding concentration of great and defunct tunesmiths is gathered. Here's Mussorgsky with his music written on his tombstone. Behind Borodin's ear, a few chiselled bars remind us what he bequeathed to the world.
Hold my hand, I'm a stranger in paradise.
At the end of the path, tastefully surrounded by begonias and wrought iron, is the greatest of them all, Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky. If he'd lived as long as his music, he would be 151. It's one of the city's greatest honours to fire the noonday gun. I waited for a revolution to start, but nothing happened. This is the Harrods Food Hall of Leningrad. Food has come direct from private farms. It's expensive, as I find when I buy some pears.
Сколько это стоит?
Сколько вам?
Yeah.
Килограмм?
Kilogram? I want about 6, 7.
7 штук.
7 штук. 7 штук. 7 штук. 6 bits. 7 штук, пожалуйста.
CM is actually 7, and they cost me 15 rubles. At the time, the average weekly wage in Leningrad was 70 rubles, which is, I suppose, why there were so many people in the street outside desperate to raise a few kopecks. Compared to Harrods Food Hall, the state supermarket is cheaper and more hygienic, but largely uncontaminated by food. However, today there's a bustle. A consignment of Buffalo brand vodka has arrived, and since the anti-alcohol laws, the bottle is a prized possession.
12 рублей. One?
I have the money, but it doesn't seem to be that simple. Vodka by coupon.
No? It's coupons? Maybe I could buy a coupon with you. Yes? How much?
I'm not sale.
Oh, no?
No sale.
How am I going to get some good Russian vodka? Yeah? Oh, well. If I have a coupon, I could get some. Okay. Well, it seems to be a problem. The problem is, I think, that you have to buy a coupon first, so I've got to go and find out where a coupon is, or I've got to go and find that gentleman and offer him my pears in return for a coupon. So I'll give it a try.
This is becoming more and more like a sketch I was once in. The coupon read parrot.
Miss? Hello, miss. Ah, well, miss seems to be absent, so I think that's the end of the vodka hunt for the moment. I can do without it. I don't need it. Yeah.
On the point of giving up, I meet someone who is prepared to risk the wrath of the law by selling me a coupon in public.
И 8. На. Покупай водку, да.
8 is 8.
A coupon for one bottle costs 8 rubles, about half the cost of my rapidly disintegrating bag of pears.
Я пойду куплю ее, потому что мне нужны бабки, ну.
That's happy anyway. Okay. So I now can queue up and get my vodka. Hello, miss.
Дальше в кассу платить. Касса там.
What?
Касса.
Casa, cash. Oh.
Касса и next зал.
I now have a coupon, but I still can't buy the vodka. The kind gentleman who's taken up my case explains that I have to pay elsewhere. I join another queue at the cashier's.
The cash. Here we are. 10. Yeah. Can I have a bag? Yeah. Oh, yes, that's right. Ah, that's it. Thank you, пожалуйста.
Мешочек купите 40 копеек, чтобы положить. Мешочек купите.
Could I have a bag?
40 копеек.
40 копеек. 40
Нет,
копеек.
это мешочек.
40 kopecks for a bag. Here we are.
Надо в кассу.
No, well, keep the change for you.
Oh dear, I've made the mistake of offering a shop assistant money. My latest retail therapist goes off to the cashier for me.
Very obliging. 40 kopecks is about sort of a quarter of a penny. So there's my bottle. I put those in there. There we are. What a man needs after a long day buying vodka is a bottle of vodka. So, have you a bottle opener? Only a joke.
Unable to face any more shopping, I climb to the top of St. Isaac's Cathedral, where the sound of street orchestras and a fine view can be obtained without coupons. I like Leningrad. It's a proud survivor of a city. And now that communism seems to be slackening off, you can't help feeling things must improve. But things haven't improved for everyone. In a Leningrad studio, an extraordinary theatre has been assembled from pieces of scrap. A series of elaborate machines and carved figures animate to tell satirical and subversive stories. But since Glasnost, the audience for this sort of thing has dwindled, and the machines now make their protest to empty rooms. Stalin wields his axe amongst a crowd of goblins and hobgoblins, whilst Lenin rants and raves from his pulpit. This was once very strong stuff. It's fascinating, but it's time to be moving on. The morning bus to Novgorod, 120 miles to the south. I'm touched that Lenin, who welcomed me, has taken time off to come and say goodbye. Then off he goes. Probably to brush up his Yeltsin. We head south along major highways and major tests of suspension. This is the main road between Leningrad and Moscow, Russia's M1. It's not easy to hurry, but we have an important deadline to meet, the last sailing of the season across the Black Sea. We mustn't miss it. Ahead of us, we still have Kiev and Odessa, but first, Novgorod. Novgorod, which means new town, is the oldest city in Russia. One of its claims to fame is that it's twinned with Watford. It even has its own gap. Watford and Novgorod have been together now for 8 years. Novgorod has not been altogether faithful. She's twinned up with at least 6 other cities. I've been told there's a bit of a film industry in Novgorod, and as we don't have one in England anymore, I decide to go and see the Russian recipe for success. Well, there's certainly no overmanning.
Так, чуть подальше меня, чуть подальше меня. Саш, значит, мы как делали, так делаем. Поехали.
I can't quite work out what sort of film it is. A Russian remake of From Here to Eternity? 20,000 millimeters under the sea?
И вверх. Хорош. Хорош. Ну-ка давай еще левее.
It turns out to be a film about crayfish. I think they're still doing the auditions. The director is Edward Ranyenko.
Здравствуйте, Michael.
Здравствуйте, Майкл. Это мы вас и ждем.
Не говорю по-русски. Извините.
I know speak English.
Oh, that's good. Well, we'll get on fine. Can I watch what you're doing? Can I watch the film?
Мы решили для вашей встречи поймать раков. Как раки по-английски? Как раки?
So things are happening in the water.
Ну вот эти вот.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I'll watch what you're doing and then we'll see what's going on. Спасибо.
Ranyenko clearly recognized me for a man who'll do anything, provided he doesn't understand it. After seconds of tough negotiation, I'm offered the part of Frogman's hand.
Right hand. 10 rounds with jaws. Overkill for a crayfish, all this, but still. So.
Так,
Ready?
Давай
Call action.
Поехали.
Is that action?
Поехали.
Russian shot.
Побольше возьми. Вот
No,
это.
I've blown it. I've blown it wrong. I knew.
Вот.
Overacting? Well, down there.
Поближе туда.
That's a big one. Right, okay.
One.
Okay. As quickly as that? Yeah. Filming?
Вынимай, вынимай, вынимай.
Okay. Well, it's a moment of film history. I've now got 3 more weeks to get out of this.
Поехали. Голову надо. Hands. Hands right. Hand left.
Very good. Oh, now I know what my mother went through. Thank you. What a team.
My reward for acting with the crayfish was to be invited to eat her and the rest of the cast that evening, along with Samagon, Edward's own vodka produced illegally in his garage. Edward's distillation process, like his filming, is a triumph of ingenuity over availability. An old sterilizer from a hospital acts as a still to boil fermented grain, yeast and sugar into a mixture which he promises will not give me a headache in the morning.
This is what you get up to in your garage.
По чуть-чуть.
What are the little bits in?
Вот такая закусь.
Slivers of garlic fortify the vodka. Well, here goes.
Первый тост. У нас в стране принято пить за гостей. Майкл, за вас.
Ваше здоровье.
Ваше здоровье.
The first toast is to the guest. Edward welcomes me to his country and drinks to the day when they can all go to my country and taste my homebrew.
Потом к ним как-нибудь соберемся. Глядишь на самогон.
Со своим приедем.
Таможня не пустит.
Excellent. Very happy to be here.
Не, это рано, это рано. Еще ж вот когда вот здесь.
I'm not a vodka drinker, so you know, I've got a lot to get used to.
Надринкаемся.
I drink Coca-Cola, but not vodka. Tried to fool me with that bottle, didn't you?
Я, правда, первый раз приходится дринкать, когда столько стоит и смотрит. Что-то дринь в глотку не лезет.
Wonderful things are happening to my body.
Второй тост за наших героев.
Thank you. Well, I suspect that was a toast to crayfish.
The second toast follows briskly, and Russian hospitality begins its slow assault on the brain cells.
Так что это все одно и то.
Give your life in vain. That's terrific. По-моему, хорошо.
Okay.
Yeah, fine. Now I know why he made the furniture look like this. He had too much vodka. Only a vodka freak would design things like that. I'm fine.
Майкл, следующий тост ваш.
Well, I should like to propose a toast to the Soviet government, whose attempt to stop people drinking vodka has resulted in Edward going into his garage and producing this truly euphoria-inducing beverage.
Ты что говоришь? Меня ж посадят за
So,
это.
to the Soviet government
А ты понял, да?
and governments who used to do things everywhere.
Да, хороший тост. Так и действительно можно вляпаться.
I'm getting a hang of this. It gets better, doesn't it? Gets better each time, a little bit better.
За это выпьем.
Isn't it time for another toast? Oh, sorry.
Да.
Oh, I've had enough toast. Ask me a lifetime.
Ну,
I know you want to make a speech.
ну вот.
To make a speech. Come
Ну
on,
вот,
someone's had a go.
есть пока мясо
Yeah.
есть.
Okay, we're going to toast the fish. Why not?
Ну, так
Toast the ketchup.
хочу...
I mean, I'm game for anything.
Майк,
Yes.
я хочу продолжить мысли Саши.
They're wonderful people.
Когда все происходит впервые, это необычно и приятно. За открывающиеся перспективы.
Well, yes. Thank you.
Кстати, вот не первый раз происходит, а все равно приятно.
Now I can eat the fish.
Уже давно, кстати.
Can I wear a
Пальчики оближешь.
rubber suit now, please?
А? Пальчики оближешь.
Подраката. Майкл, обожди.
There's a lot on there.
О, вот из моего не
That's good?
Отлично.
Enormous interest in this.
У Майкла высокая степень выживаемости.
Michael raising his right arm. This is a toast to me raising my right arm. Oh, beautiful. Lovely. You ever done brain surgery?
Так, пьем молча, ребята, за раки, которых мы поймали, они же бедные, мы их сварили.
Вы поймали.
Все, молча. Мы поймали.
Мы поймали.
Да я больше в поту был, чем ты. Ты в воде-то ведь и не попил.
Я, охлаждался, понятно.
Okay, here we go. By my count, that's number 23.
Подрака.
Yeah, you're so used to anything, really.
After the vodka, I had a strange dream. I was in a big car, wearing a suit and clutching a speech. I seemed to be on some enormously important mission. Young and innocent children serenaded me with local folk songs as I strode into the main square to meet no less a figure than the mayor of Novgorod. I realized that this was my moment in history.
У нас в гостях почетный житель нашего английского города-побратима Уотфорда Майк Пэлин.
Спасибо. We, the people of your twin town of Watford, take this opportunity to send our warmest greetings to you. We believe that the link of friendship between Watford and Novgorod, which was formed in 1984, has been of great mutual benefit. Many ordinary people, including sportsmen and women, students, dancers, children, families, environmentalists, and actors, have had the opportunity to visit a town and a country previously unknown to them. We are sure that the bond between our towns will continue to grow and flourish. We look forward to the day when every school and organisation in Novgorod and in Watford can contribute to the development of our links. We wish you every success in your work to increase international understanding. Spasiba. And we would like to give you a present on behalf of the people of Watford. Doubtless you can find something to fill it with.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is our souvenir.
Ah, beautiful. That's beautiful. Watford, there we go. That's marvellous. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed, Mayor.
I thought this strange dream was over, but I'd reckoned without the folk dancers. I found myself jumping on some Russians, being kissed by a strange lady, and thrust into some sort of circle. This would never have happened in Watford. Then, just as I was beginning to enjoy myself, I woke up.
Well, it's 1:30 in the morning at Dno station, northwest Russia. The literal Russian translation of Dno is actually the bottom. So you could say after about 4 weeks of travelling, we've actually reached the bottom. But things should get better from now on, because this is the Leningrad-Kiev Express, which is going to take us about 1,000 kilometres further south in 19 hours of travel tomorrow. And Dno station is known not only for its fantastic nightlife, but also because this was a station where the last Tsar of Russia, Nicholas II, abdicated, or decided he was going to abdicate, in 1917. So this is where the Tsar decided to call it a day, give up. And, you know, I can understand, having been here for an hour myself, how he felt. So, better get on the train. So do you. Come on.
Next morning, we're in Belorussia, White Russia. Only 50 years ago, these were the killing fields of Europe. 2 million Belarusians lost their lives in the Second World War. Now they're talking of independence, as are the Ukrainians, one of whom I meet on the train. He's Vadim Castelli. He learned his English from listening to the Voice of America.
I see Ukrainian history being revived. I see Ukrainian culture, you know, the culture which many people thought is gone forever. Now we're getting back to some of our roots. There is so much to do here. If one feels Ukrainian, if one feels it's one's roots, this is a very exciting period to live through in the history of this land now.
Are we in the Ukraine yet?
Yeah, we're in the Ukraine.
In the Ukraine.
This is
Outside
Ukraine.
there. Well,
Yeah.
let's drink to being in the Ukraine.
Thank you.
Okay. To the Ukraine.
To the Ukraine.
And this is a rich, I mean, people say the breadbasket of Russia and all that. Are we going to get some pretty... What's the food going to be like in Ukraine? Sort of
Well, you know, even despite the 75 years of Soviet regime, it's still quite a rich land. I mean, you know, when I start thinking about the land, it would be so rich if it were not for Bolsheviks first, for Chernobyl.
Despite what Vadim says, these ominous shadows seem to have left little mark on the countryside we're passing through. But you can't take anything for granted in this country.
Well, just as I was having lovely dreams of breaking my day's fast at one of the best restaurants in Kiev, in the breadbasket of Russia, the Ukraine, I've had a bit of bad luck with the train, and we're going to be stopped here in the middle of the forest. And I think they've invaded someone's house over there, which is looting their water, so I'll go and do a bit of looting and pillaging.
The 2-hour delay turns into a party. A nearby lake becomes an impromptu holiday camp. These passengers know how to have a good time. Can you imagine this happening on the 753 to Victoria? There you go, Mr. Johnson. You can feel the disappointment when it's time for the train to move on. This plant is wormwood. The Book of Revelations tells of a burning poisonous star called wormwood, which at Judgment Day will fall to earth, infecting the waters. The Ukrainian word for wormwood is Chernobyl. It grows abundantly here in Narodichi, only 40 miles from the scene of the world's worst nuclear accident.
Vadim? Patty? Fraser? Michael, you carry this one. If it emits a loud wail, just get out of the area, because it means it's a hot spot.
Okay. Is it on?
Turn it on there.
Oh, I see you do that. Right, yes.
No one knows quite how dangerous this area is, but none of our Russian guides would come with us. Only Vadim would join me. This was a maternity hospital. It was closed when the village it served was officially declared unsafe for human habitation. That was last year, 4 years after the disaster. Equipment, notices, even medical records remain here untouched, tainted. The poison that infects these ghost villages is invisible, but as happened outside this old village shop, it can be heard. On our way out, we catch sight of the only two people we've seen all day. The old lady, Hema, is 90.
I feel sick, my daughter is sick too. We are the only ones left
Я
here.
вельми хотіла в своїй хаті вмерти, але опустували, побили окна у моїй хаті, розкидали віранду, на пусту стіну таку зробили, що вже хто його знає.
I wish I could die in my own house,
таке.
but my house is fenced off and
Я вельми
windows
хотіла
are
б
all
у свою
broken,
хату, щоб
and I
умерти.
can't die there any longer. I keep moving from one house to another house, and just like that, we're the only ones left here. Sometimes it's scary, but what can you do about it?
Kiev, capital of the Ukraine, is the third largest city of the Soviet Union. If the wind had been blowing from the north on the 26th of April 1986, it would now be dead. As it is, October Revolution Square today is bright, busy and well kept. But it remains a place where Ukrainians go to be Ukrainian, to dwell on a sad past and an uncertain future.
Треті півні не співали, ніхто ніде не гомонів. Сичіваю перекликались.
Boris Antonienko sings Ukrainian songs, banned until recently. Songs like The Mighty Dnieper. We've hitched a lift down the mighty Dnieper on the trading barge Katun. It was in the river, here at Kiev, 1,000 years ago, that Christianity came to Russia. There was no option. Prince Vladimir had a baptism squad of Greek priests plunge the entire population into the water. Christian churches, lovingly restored, are still the most striking buildings in a city that's been communist for 70 years. And people still bathe on the beaches of the Dnieper, only 55 miles downstream from Chernobyl. Below Kiev, the river has been swollen into a series of vast inland seas created by power-hungry administrators desperate for hydroelectricity. The pace may be a bit leisurely, but Russian rivers are a lot smoother than Russian roads. And all I can do is wait until the waters of the Dnieper become the waters of the Black Sea. The last 100 miles are difficult, I admit. But I keep pedalling, and after crossing 1,400 miles of Soviet Union, I reach the Black Sea shore at Arcadia Beach, Odessa. But I'm just too late. There's not a single sunbed left. There are plenty of spaces at a nearby beach. Who are these people? Some sort of secret society? The hastily hushed up evidence of some Soviet sun cream disaster? Not a bit of it. They're here because they love mud.
And then at the end of the day, you go back in there and wash it all off. Yeah. No, it doesn't look smart, but...
This lady doctor regularly indulges. The marine deposits, she says, contain all sorts of healing properties.
It certainly turns you into an active soul. So, do you think I should go and try some myself? For me?
Да, да.
Good.
А даже не могла встать на ногу. Вот так. А сейчас смотри. Как.
I see, yeah. Turns you into an athlete.
Да.
I see, yeah.
In search of the answer to anabolic steroids, I make my way to the Kuyalnik Sanatorium, in Tsarist times the most fashionable resort in Russia. Now a little faded, but still dispensing the best mud in the country. The treatment room hovers uneasily between hospital and abattoir. There's a pervasive smell of rotten eggs from the sulphurous mud. What on earth is going on? Maybe it's a daycare centre for vampires. There's no escape now. This, as they say in police dramas, is my patch. The first surprise is that it's warm.
Bisto.
No one's ever done this to me before. Then I suppose I've never asked them to.
Feels like all the things you were told never to do in bed rolled into one. Very nice and warm. Thank you.
I may look like a sausage roll, but I've rarely tasted such primal, illicit contentment.
Not much I can do now.
After 20 minutes, it's time to be unwrapped. I can't imagine I shall ever be clean again. This is a job for Dino Rod. Next morning, with a spring in my step and mud in all sorts of strange places, I leave the Hotel London Skyer, a Black Sea version of the Reform Club, and walk down the famous Potemkin steps and out of the Soviet Union. Well, not quite out of the Soviet Union, for I have 2 days aboard the Junost, a training ship turned passenger ferry on its last voyage of the year between here and Istanbul. It's odd, really. I don't want to go, but I feel lucky to be able to go.
17 days, strange days. It's not a place that makes you really go spare, sort of tear your hair up. At the same time, for enormous pleasures, and people who looked after us were tremendous. I'll miss it. I won't forget a day of it. Still, be able to cut down the vodka consumption. I don't even like vodka. Oh, well. Do svidaniya.
2 days after we left, the generals attempted a coup and the end of the Soviet Union began. The swimming pool of the Junost is, in the grand tradition of Russian improvisation, a packing case filled with a bit of Black Sea. It's so small I thought I was the only one who'd seen it, but I'd forgotten about the Russian love of the outdoor life.
The pool attendant. I was just going to do a couple of lengths before lunch. Do you mind if I just take a duck?
I try, without success, to remember the Russian for I am married with 3 children.
Oh, you know about this. You know what I have to do. Is it... oh, that's the idea. Yes. Good. You're all right. You're dressed properly. I'm going to do a bit of poking on the back. Where you start sleeping. You come here often.
I resort to the only line of Russian I can still remember.
Michael.
That only makes things worse.
Luba. Да. Amore, pickle.
What? Amore?
Amore, little pickle. Amore, no.
Luba means amore?
Is amore, little amore.
Love?
Love, yes. Little love, you pickle amore.
What a very suitable name. It's really good. I'm going to do a few legs before lunch. Try some backstroke. Here we go. Oh. No, that's obviously out. Front crawl, maybe.
Little baby, little.
Flower of yours needs a little watering.
In the end, to both our surprises, we discover a mutual interest in church architecture. At dawn on the 3rd day, we enter the narrow strait between Europe and Asia called the Bosphorus. There's a nervous energy along the banks, a prosperity and confidence we've not seen in the last 3 weeks. All at once, the Junost looks what it is, an ill-equipped, badly managed country cousin of a ship. But I have to admit, I've grown fond of the quiet, eccentric pleasures of the Junost and the country it represents. Now Istanbul beckons, not just with its domes and minarets, but with its rewards and its insatiable demands. The smell of opportunity is in the air. Whatever it may look like, I am back in the West.